Marfa, Texas, where mystery meets art in the desert. In the heart of the West Texas desert, hidden among arid landscapes and endless horizons, lies a small town that defies all expectations. Marfa, Texas isn't just a dot on the map. It's an experience, an enigma, a living contradiction that captures the imagination of everyone who crosses its borders. Don't forget to subscribe to the Town Tales channel, leave your like, and share this video. Your support is essential for us to continue bringing these fascinating stories and giving visibility to extraordinary small towns like Marfa. Each subscription is a declaration of love for American culture and history. Founded in 1880 as a simple railroad stop, Marfa received its name from a character in a Russian novel that the railroad chief was reading. This seemingly trivial detail was just the beginning of the enchanting strangeness that would define this community. Today, with just over 1,600 inhabitants, the town exerts a cultural influence disproportionate to its modest size. Marfa's most emblematic phenomenon is undoubtedly the mysterious lights that have appeared on the horizon since at least the 1880s. Witnessed by countless visitors and residents, these dancing, inexplicable lights emerge on dark desert nights, moving in ways that defy conventional scientific explanations. Some say they're distant reflections of car or train headlights. Others insist they're rare atmospheric phenomena. But true Marf fans? They just smile knowingly. They understand that some stories are better when they keep their mystery. Marfa's most remarkable transformation occurred in the 1970s when renowned minimalist artist Donald Judd decided to make this isolated town his home and artistic laboratory. Acquiring a former military fort, Judd established the Chinati Foundation, a contemporary art museum featuring large-scale permanent installations, radically transforming the town's identity. What was once an army outpost became a sanctuary for modern art. Machine guns gave way to suspended sculptures, and nobody seemed to mind the exchange. This contrast between old and new, traditional and progressive, forms the creative tension that fuels Marfa. Texas cowboys share tables with New York artists in cafes like Frama, a coffee shop attached to a laundromat, where the aroma of freshly ground coffee mingles with the smell of fabric softener. It's an unlikely combination, just like the town itself. There's a local story about Mr. Eustace, an old rancher who swore he saw a raccoon flying over the plains of Marfa. It happened on a Friday night, after what his friends euphemistically describe as a cactus tea. The animal reportedly performed 3 aerial pirouettes before disappearing among Marfa's famous lights. To this day, decades later, Eustace maintains his story with unwavering conviction. It wasn't a bird, and it wasn't a plane, he insists to skeptics. It was a raccoon, and he was just as surprised as I was. Marfa's sporting spirit manifests through the Marfa Shorthorns, the local football team that plays at historic Martin Field. During games, an 89-year-old woman blows a traditional horn every time the team advances down the field, a tradition said to bring luck, or at least cause panic among opponents. The rivalry with neighboring Alpine is so intense that their confrontations are pompously called the Battle of the Western Stars, a name that evokes classic westerns but in practice translates to pure sporting adrenaline. Marfa's weather is as unpredictable as its stories. Temperature variations of 20 degrees Celsius in a single day aren't uncommon, leading residents to leave home in shorts in the morning and return bundled up at night. This extreme meteorological phenomenon inspired a group of local ladies to form a knitting club dedicated to making scarves for the wind, a form of poetic resistance against the harshness of the desert. Perhaps nothing better symbolizes Marfa's wonderful absurdity than the Prada Marfa installation. Located about 40 kilometers from town, this perfect replica of an Italian fashion boutique stands solitary in the desert, with bags and shoes from the 2005 collection eternally displayed in its windows. It's not a functional store, it's a work of art, a critique of luxury consumerism, a monument to geographical surrealism. It's completely useless and absolutely essential, like many of life's best things. Cinematic influence in Marfa is undeniable. In 1956, the town served as the main setting for the epic Giant, starring James Dean, Elizabeth Taylor, and Rock Hudson. Even today, local entrepreneurs sell vials supposedly containing authentic dust from the film set, a claim as impossible to verify as the origins of the mysterious lights. Marfa's public library houses a peculiar reading club exclusively dedicated to books about aliens and conspiracy theories. Appropriately named Light on the Shelf, the group meets on Tuesdays, because why not, as its members explain when questioned about their choice of day. An informal study indicates that 34% of residents firmly believe in the existence of extraterrestrial life, while 18% claim to have witnessed things in the sky that the government doesn't want us to know about. The remaining 48%? They just laugh and go about their lives, comfortable with ambiguity. Digital connectivity is a constant challenge in Marfa. The internet signal is so notoriously bad that the town earned the ironic nickname YFAI, pronounced with a strong Texan accent. Young people complain about this technological limitation, while older folks celebrate it, arguing that less time online means more space for real conversations and storytelling, a cultural currency of inestimable value in this corner of Texas. Marfa's economy is as eclectic as its cultural profile. With a surprisingly low unemployment rate of approximately 4%, many residents maintain multiple occupations. They're weekend artists, tour guides for the mysterious lights at night, and storytellers by vocation. The Food Shark, an improvised diner in a trailer, serves one of the best falafels in the American Southwest, a Mediterranean dish that seems out of place in the heart of Texas, but has become an integral part of the local gastronomic identity. Marfa's isolated geography contributes significantly to its unique character. Situated between vast deserts and distant mountains, connected to the outside world by endless straight roads, the town exemplifies the local saying, "If you blinked, you missed the town." This physical isolation creates an intensified sense of community among residents and an almost mystical experience for visitors. The journey to Marfa is both physical and psychological. You don't just travel to a place, but to a state of mind. Once, during a particularly tedious interview, a local politician fell, or involuntarily inspected, as he prefers to describe it, into a municipal water tank. His official justification was that he was conducting an inspection of water structures, an explanation so creative that it transformed into a local meme for more than a year. In Marfa, even moments of embarrassment are transformed into folklore. Martin Field doesn't just serve as a sports arena. When an unexpected storm flooded the local church during a wedding, the ceremony was quickly transferred to the football field. The justice of the peace declared, "Head to the field," and the couple exchanged vows surrounded by cheerleader pom-poms and under the approving gaze of the team mascot. Adaptability is a necessary virtue in the desert, and Marfans possess it in abundance. One of the strangest incidents in Marfa's recent history involves a fugitive donkey that disappeared for 3 days, only to return triumphantly with a cactus stuck to its ear. The animal, subsequently dubbed Cactus Nildo, became a kind of unofficial mascot, symbolizing the resilience and absurdity that characterize life in West Texas. During a contemporary art festival, Marfa's mayor remained so impressively still while posing for a photograph that a tourist, mistaking him for a static performance art installation, left a generous tip at his feet. The politician, demonstrating Texan pragmatism and Marfan good humor, thanked him for the contribution and promptly used it to buy a taco, art literally feeding life. In an audacious municipal marketing attempt, Marfa once applied for the title of World Silence Capital, an initiative that had to be abandoned when residents reported that the mysterious night lights emitted a weird buzzing during the early morning hours. Apparently, paranormal phenomena don't respect official tourist designations. Marfa's town hall was inadvertently used as a set for a country music video without anyone noticing until the official release of the production. The building's security guard was convinced it was preparations for a wedding ceremony and allowed filming without question. When later questioned about his lack of diligence, he simply replied, "In Marfa, you never know what's art and what's real life." Instagram has become a complex tool for Marfa's identity. Although the actual population is only 1,600 people, the town's digital presence suggests a metropolis with tens of thousands of inhabitants, thanks to the constant flow of tourists seeking the perfect desert photo. Each visitor temporarily transforms into a desert model, capturing stylized images against the backdrop of Texas's golden plains and infinite sky. For those who ask, what is there to do in Marfa? Locals often respond with an enigmatic smile. Wait for the lights and listen to stories. The rest is luxury. This seemingly simplistic answer contains a profound truth about the essence of the Marfan experience. It's a place to slow down, observe, listen, and ponder, a refuge from the frantic pace of modern life. Marfa represents a curious inversion of the typical American narrative. While most small towns struggle against oblivion and emptying, Marfa flourishes precisely because of, not despite, its reduced size and remote location. It's a reminder that sometimes the extraordinary thrives at the margins, not at the center. Night in Marfa offers an incomparable celestial spectacle. Far from the light pollution of big cities, the night sky opens up like a starry dome of impressive clarity. Amateur and professional astronomers frequent the region to observe constellations, planets, and celestial phenomena. Some say that if you look carefully enough at Marfa's sky, you'll begin to understand why so many residents believe in visitors from other worlds. The most recent urban legend involves a controversial farm-to-table project in which a local restaurant supposedly tried to grow vegetables using only the light emitted by Marfa's nocturnal luminous phenomena. Although the experiment was scientifically dubious, the tomatoes produced, they say, had a taste literally out of this world and glowed softly in the dark. The story is almost certainly apocryphal but perfectly aligned with the creative and slightly absurd ethos of the town. Daily routine in Marfa is marked by fascinating contrasts. In the morning, conceptual artists work in modern studios while, a few blocks away, ranchers conduct cattle business as they have for generations. In the afternoon, hipster tourists photograph minimalist installations while authentic cowboys stop for coffee. At night, these seemingly disparate worlds converge in local bars, where conversations about contemporary art freely mix with discussions about cattle breeding techniques and family stories transmitted through generations. A particularly notable phenomenon is how Marfa has altered the conventional perception of urban progress. Instead of seeking population growth, commercial expansion, or industrial development, traditional metrics of municipal success, the town has embraced an alternative model based on quality of experience, environmental preservation, and cultural innovation. It's a revolutionary concept of community development that prioritizes character over size, depth over extension. For skeptics, Marfa may seem an exercise in pretension, a rural community artificially transformed into an elitist cultural destination. For enthusiasts, it's an inspiring example of authentic reinvention, a place that found its unique vocation through an unlikely fusion of regional tradition and contemporary artistic vision. The truth, as always, probably lies somewhere in between, in the same twilight zone where the mysterious lights dance. The relationship of Marfa's permanent residents with their town's growing fame is complex. There's genuine pride in the cultural achievements and national visibility, but also concern about rising real estate prices and changes in the social fabric. As one longtime resident philosophically observed, Marfa has always been strange, only now it's strange with a purpose and a higher price tag. Summers in Marfa are brutal, with temperatures frequently exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. This harsh climatic reality has shaped fundamental aspects of local architecture, social practices, and even community philosophy. There's a special resilience in desert inhabitants, an ability to find beauty in austerity and comfort in small mercies. Marfans celebrate the sunset not just for its beauty, but as a welcome relief from the relentless heat, a perspective that perfectly illustrates the local capacity to transform challenges into celebrations. Geographic isolation has also significantly influenced healthcare in Marfa. With the nearest hospital more than an hour away, residents have developed an impressive community medical support system. Volunteer drivers take turns transporting patients who need regular treatments like dialysis, and an informal network of caregivers helps the elderly remain in their homes. This interdependence forced by geography has created deep social bonds that transcend political, cultural, and economic differences. Education in Marfa reflects the duality that defines the town. The single public school serves the local population with traditional teaching programs, but frequently collaborates with visiting artists and cultural institutions to offer extraordinary educational experiences to students. Children growing up in Marfa have the rare opportunity to regularly interact with internationally renowned artists while maintaining firm roots in traditional Texan culture, a truly unique educational combination. Economically, Marfa navigates a delicate balance. Cultural tourism and artistic reputation have brought significant prosperity, but also challenges of gentrification and accessibility. To combat these trends, community leaders have worked to diversify the local economy through sustainable agriculture initiatives, artisanal production, and renewable technology, leveraging isolation and extreme natural conditions as assets, not limitations. The indigenous legacy of the region is often obscured by the contemporary narrative centered on art and tourism. However, Marfa is situated in territory traditionally inhabited by the Jumano and Apache peoples, whose presence and cultural influence remain significant, though frequently unrecognized. Recent efforts to honor this heritage include collaborations between contemporary artists and native artisans, combining ancestral traditions with modern expressions. For many visitors, especially those accustomed to the constant connectivity of urban areas, the most transformative experience of Marfa is the profound silence of the desert. This acoustic vacuum, disturbed only by the occasional wind or distant call of a wild animal, creates a rare mental space in the modern world, an opportunity for genuine introspection and reconnection with natural rhythms that have been largely lost in the cacophony of contemporary life. Marfa's future remains as enigmatic as its famous lights. As pressures for growth and development increase, the community faces fundamental questions about identity, authenticity, and sustainability. However, if history is any indication, Marfa will continue to defy expectations and simple categories. Like a living, breathing art installation, the town will continue to evolve while maintaining its distinctive character, a paradox in permanent transformation in the heart of the Texan desert. Marfa teaches us that the most interesting places are often those that resist easy definition, that the collision of cultures, traditions, and visions can create something entirely new and valuable, that isolation can be both limitation and liberation, and that sometimes the deepest mysteries are those that remain unsolved, hovering eternally on the horizon like dancing lights in the darkness of the desert. In an era of increasing cultural homogenization, when a Starbucks looks exactly the same in Seattle or Shanghai, places like Marfa become not just geographical curiosities, but vital repositories of alternative possibilities, reminders that strangeness, individuality, and mystery still have a place in the contemporary world. For Marfa residents, however, all these analyses probably seem overly complicated. As they say with typical Texan simplicity when asked what makes their town special, Marfa may be small, but its sense of humor is gigantic. And perhaps that's the deepest truth about this extraordinary corner of Texas. It's not just about art, mystery, or geography, but the fundamental human capacity to find joy, meaning, and community even in the most unlikely circumstances. As the mysterious lights continue their eternal dance on Marfa's horizon, they remind us that some questions are more valuable without definitive answers, that mystery and uncertainty are not just inevitable aspects of life, but possibly its most precious ingredients. If you have the opportunity to visit this extraordinary cultural enclave in the Texan desert, prepare to question your assumptions, embrace contradictions, and perhaps glimpse something inexplicable on the horizon. In Marfa, the ordinary and extraordinary don't just coexist, they're often indistinguishable. And that, more than any art installation or natural phenomenon, may be its most powerful attraction. Marfa, Texas, where everyday life is art, the impossible is routine, and mystery is simply part of the landscape. A place where, as locals say with an enigmatic smile, you come for the lights but stay for what they illuminate within you. Enjoyed this fascinating journey through Marfa? Don't forget to check out our other videos here on the Town Tales channel, where we explore small towns with big stories across the country. Next week, we'll discover the secrets and legends of Sedona, Arizona. Click the bell to not miss any of our extraordinary stories about extraordinary places. Until our next trip.